Tate is 30, guided to her 15-1. You see Galileo, the great rival of Fantastic Light. They've been battling all year at 4-1 on the morning line. Tiznow, defending champion, is at 5-1. And Aptitude, the Bobby Frankel trainee, is a 2-1 shot on the classic morning line. Well, last year the classic trophy went to Cecelia Straub-Rubens, the owner of Tiznow, who went on to be Horse of the Year. Today Tiznow is back, but his owner is missing.
I'd been told that she was sick, but I didn't realize how sick she was. Her horses meant almost as much as her children, I think, and she took a great interest in them. To have a horse win the Breeders' Cup Classic made her final moments terrific for her, I think.
She went out a grand winner. What a way to leave this world.
She had this incredible spirit, and she was the most optimistic person I've ever known. And every time I'd get down, she said, we'll get them, hang in there, our day will come.
My wife, Sandy, spoke to her that Tuesday morning and wished her well in surgery that afternoon. And Steve's last words were to Sandy, after they talked for a while, was, "You tell Jay to take care of my little boy," meaning Tiznow.
Against her doctor's orders, Tiznow's owner, Cecelia Straub-Rubens, came to last year's Breeders' Cup and saw her dreams realized. 3 days later, she lost her battle with cancer, leaving 3 men with her legacy. A champion horse with an enormous future. But this year, for Tiznow, something has been missing.
He's willing, but he's not eager. He's lacking that spark from last year. He's so talented that I just feel that maybe I'm missing something. To come across the line first in the Breeders' Cup Classic again this year would mean a lot for me, and that would be a great feather in his cap. He'd be, I think, the first horse ever to win the Breeders' Cup Classic twice. For C, hopefully, she can witness it too, in a way.
A look at Tiznow, reigning Horse of the Year and defending Classic champion. Jay Robbins so perplexed by his reluctance to train that he considered at one time giving him a shot of vodka before he went to the racetrack. No report to the rumor that Tiznow said he'd prefer his vodka in a Cosmopolitan instead. Anyway, he never got the vodka. And Chris McCarron had the most interesting theory. He said Tiznow's a year older, and he thought he was just bored. He wanted to go out and look around, take his time before training, much the same way John Henry did as he progressed to his old age. Still effective up until the later years was John Henry. They hope Tiznow can be.
I mean, here he is in the Arc de Triomphe at Longchamp in Paris. A devastatingly impressive win. I must tell you, I saw this horse in the paddock. He looks like $1 million, as does Galileo. Galileo, another one trying the dirt on the turf to dirt move. The Galileo who ran such a big race against Fantastic Light. So what do? Do you go with Aptitude? Do you go with the Europeans on the turf to dirt move? I think you got to take a shot at a horse that loves the dirt at a price. I'm going to go for Include here at 10-1. I know, he won 5 in a row in the spring. He's up there at 10-1. It's a bit of a long shot. Came back in the Meadowlands Cup and ran so-so third. But again, when this horse is right, he is tough to beat, and he's got a good inside post, Mike. Galileo, again, Saki, who knows? Aptitude from the 10 post, that's a tough post. I think it's anybody's race, I really do.
I do too. You take Include, I'm going to stick with
of the Classic. And they're off! To the cheers of the crowd, and Guided Tour breaks alertly with Orientate. Albert the Great is gun to the lead. That's Albert the Great. Ore Chavez puts him in front, but Pat Day and Orientate are going to take the fight to him, and those two hook up in a speed duel in the first furlong here. Tiznow not far behind. He's running third in the early going. Guided Tour drops back to run along in fourth. Galileo only 5 lengths from the lead. He's fifth. The arc winner Saki is sixth on the outside, and the favorite Aptitude is now running in seventh. Macho Uno bulls his way through from eighth now. Black Middlewish is ninth. Include is down toward the inside, and he's now 10th. Freedom Crest, Gander, who's well in hand, and at the back of the pack is Long Shot Up Late Stancer. The quarter went in 23 1/5 seconds, a grueling pace here, and into the wind half of 47 seconds flat. Albert the Great grinding it out on a short lead now. Orientate couldn't stay with them. There goes Guided Tour, who splits horses decisively with 5 furlongs to go, and on the outside, the daunting presence of a horse of the year, Tiznow, and he's right there just off the pace fourth. Saki and Galileo right there and behind the lead. Macho Uno's in the thick of it as Aptitude begins to roll here with 3.5 furlongs to go in the Classic, and it is Albert the Great blazing the way. Tiznow looms in second. Saki is there on the outside. Guided Tour fights on. Galileo's under a heavy drive. He's still 6 lengths behind. Include will put his run through on the rail. Aptitude is taken wide by Gander, and the field turns for home. Here comes the arc winner, Saki, and he storms to the lead. Saki in their lead, and Tiznow is battling on. The American Horse of the Year and the arc winner are heads apart with a furlong to go in the Classic. On the outside, Saki. Tiznow fights on. Here's the winner, desperately close. Tiznow wins it for America. Beating Saki right on the wire. Finishing third was Albert the Great. Macho Uno was fourth. Oh, did they deliver a thriller here at Belmont Park this afternoon. An heroic stretch drive that will go on in Breeders' Cup legend.
As Tiznow, the forgotten horse in the Breeders' Cup Classic, the reigning horse of the year, proves his heart and competitiveness once again as he takes on the arc winner, and the two battling head and head down the stretch in one of the more thrilling classics we've seen. And Tiznow just gets up to win it. Tiznow and Chris McCarron in the Classic.
Of late, but you know, he's, some people saying that he's spoiled. I don't think he's spoiled enough. He deserves all the spoiling he can get.
Chris, he has given you guys fits all year, but you've compared him to John Henry and just said as he's gotten older, he's gotten a little bit set in his ways and just gets a little bored.
He does get bored. I think some horses are a lot more intelligent than others. And I think he's got a high degree of intelligence for a horse, and he loves to be out on the racetrack. He does not want to be forced to go early because he knows once his work is done on the track, he goes back to the barn. It's boring in the barn.
And here's the narrow victory that he scored over Saki in the Breeders' Cup Classic. McCarron's 5th Classic winner, 9th victory overall. Cecelia Straub-Rubens didn't live to see it, but her baby, Tiznow, has won the Classic again. What a job Jenny Robbins has done. McCarron into the winner's circle after taking their 2nd consecutive Breeders' Cup Classic, the first horse to ever do that. Paid $15.80, $7.20, and $5.60. The arc winner, Saki. And Albert the Great in his final race, hanging very, very tough at his home track of Belmont. But
handicap, you'd probably have to say so. Here's Albert the Great on the lead. Here's Chris McCarron with Tiznow, and on the outside you just can't see him, but he's hidden right in there. There's Frankie Dettori, and Frankie Dettori is on Saki. Frankie Dettori, the greatest jockey in Europe. Chris McCarron, I don't know what it is about him. Breeders' Cup Day and Tiznow. I thought last year's ride on Tiznow was one of the greatest of his career, and we know what an illustrious career he has. And look at this, he's almost beaten there on Tiznow. Looks like he's going to finish third, but him and Tiznow have such a great connection here that he just makes Tiznow reach down deep, just urges him along. This is probably going to be the race of the year for sure. Two great jockeys, two great horses, both of them giving their all here, but Tiznow, he definitely wants a challenge. He loved that fight today. A great nose win. Tom?